My name is Olivia Shaw, and I am a co-director of The Shift. So we made the film it's about 2 years ago at this point, and I made it as part of my MFA program at Stanford University, and this was the second film that I made, and that assignment was to co-direct something. So I made this film with my co-director, Paloma Martinez. We basically, we only had 10 weeks from really starting to flesh out an idea to finishing the film for a screening. We kind of contacted the 911 department here in San Francisco thinking they'll never get back to us in time, and how are we going to do this as quickly, but might as well give it a shot, and started developing other ideas. And then they actually got back to us, so we kind of tried to make that move as quickly as possible and get access and met with them. And then we kind of did a couple of days of casting. And then from there, we spent time with 4 or 5 different people. And then 4 of those people are in the films. And we wanted them to be people who were very professional, but we could see what the kind of result of the job on them. And they were willing to kind of be open about it. And we're pretty experienced. And then we shot for a couple of days, edited for a few weeks, I guess, usually 3 weeks. And then finished the film.
What was the most difficult part of making the film?
The most difficult part? I think it was the editing. I think we just had a lot of footage, a lot more than you'd expect for a couple of days of shooting, and part of that was because you didn't really know what kind of call they were going to get at any point, and you can't just press record when the call gets interesting. You need the whole arc of the story. We narrowed it down to we're only going to film these hours with this person, and we'll see what calls come in, but we kind of had to be rolling that whole time, and we had to also put those calls together in a way that we created an emotional arc of being in the room as you go through the film, because we didn't really want to have voiceover. We did interviews, but we didn't use them. We didn't really want to have someone explaining. We just wanted you to have an experience. Well, I mean, it's a pretty dramatic place, right? Mm-hmm. So, we knew good stuff was happening, but we knew if we just gave you all the good stuff in the beginning of the film wouldn't necessarily go anywhere, and you wouldn't have, the journey of what we knew that they told us working there was which is, it can be, the most mundane job for days or even weeks, and then all of a sudden you're saving someone's life on a phone, or you get, 5 of those calls, and, it never lets up, right? So it's very unpredictable, and that's what was one of the hardest things for them. So we chose to only film from 7 p.m., basically sunset until midnight. So part of that was the look of the film. That room that they work in is really cinematic and really cool looking at night, but during the day it's pretty ugly. So we knew that we wanted a certain ambiance with this film, right? That's the big part of it for me. And then there's also the reality that there's different parts of the day where stuff happens, but a lot of the more interesting stuff tends to happen after nightfall. We wanted to find a digital home for it, and so it's actually on PBS via Film School Shorts, and it's going to be up on their website too. And then we sent it to the Atlantic because we thought that it might be kind of the right fit for them. And then they liked it, and I think this was an example of really get to, even with a little bit of time, if you just put in kind of the pre-production and research time, it can change everything, especially for a short film. You'd think that would apply more for a long film, but when you don't have that much time to really get to know someone, sitting down and talking to them for an hour and spending a day or so with them without a camera, I think was really key for us, and just making some very intentional decisions about people and the way we were going to shoot it ahead of time, and then just staying true to those decisions, versus just trying to catch whatever was happening, but having a logistical plan both visually and story-wise. When we went in there, I think saved us a lot of grief. And so I always talk about intentionality with my classes, and I think this was one of those moments for me where I went in with the most intentionality of probably any project I had done that thus far.